It's 3:15 in the morning and you did not wake up because of a noise. You woke up because of a number. You're staring at the ceiling and your stomach is in a knot. And it's that familiar cold dread feeling. And it's that fog of the financial fear. Your brain starts to cycle. Did that client pay that invoice? Can I make payroll next Friday? You do some quick panic math in your head. And if they pay, we're good. If they do not, I'll have to move money from my savings again. Then the big one hits. How much am I actually going to owe in taxes this year? You have no idea. You just know it is going to hurt. This is that dirty secret of so many successful entrepreneurs. You look the part, you are crushing it, but behind the scenes, you are living in a state of financial chaos, running your business from your bank account balance. If you're making decisions based on emotions, on fear, and on a gut feeling, you're not making them based on data. You have convinced yourself that if you're just not a numbers person, you tell yourself you will deal with it later. And you hustle harder, try to outrun that financial truth, but you cannot out-hustle a broken financial model. The anxiety you feel at 3 a.m., that is the cost of financial chaos. And today, we're going to put an end to it. That feeling of financial chaos is a feeling I know intimately. And it's not just about business. For me, it started with a car. When I first come to the United States from Brazil, I had nothing. No credit history, no financial blueprint, and no understanding of how the rules of the game worked here. Like after graduating from college, I landed my first job as a tax accountant. In 4 months, I walked 12 blocks to that office, saving every paycheck I could. I needed a car, but I wasn't starting from zero. I spent weeks researching online until I finally found an affordable used Chevrolet Cobalt. The only problem? The dealership was 400 miles away in Austin, Texas. I made that trip by catching a ride with a coworker. I walked into that Austin dealership with my job letter, the cash I had saved from the down payment, and my pride. And I found it. You have to picture this. The car was in Austin, the home of the UT Longhorns. So of course the car was bright orange. It was a 2-door manual shift. For a guy like me, I'm 6'8". Getting to this thing was like folding myself into a sardine can. I had to lean the driver's seat so far back that no one could ever sit behind me. I later named it the Orange Crush, but at that moment, it was my key to freedom. So I sat down in that little cubicle with that finance manager, and I can still smell that stale coffee and that flickering forensic light on his desk. He ran my information and, he came back with a smile that didn't meet his rice. He said, well, son, you got no credit. So the best we can do is 18%. 18%? I felt this hot wave of shame just like washing over me. I knew instantly that I was being taken advantage of. That 18% was not an interest rate, it was a penalty. And it was a tax on what I did not know. It was the price for my lack of clarity. I had no choice. I signed the papers, and for years I drove that Cobalt and I paid that brutal expense lesson every single month. So here's the truth. You are paying that same 18% clarity penalty in your business right now. It just has a different name. It is the late fees you pay because you do not have a system for accounts payable. It is the thousands in taxes you overpay because you do not have a proactive strategy. It is the bad clients you keep because you are terrified of the cash flow dip. It is that team member you cannot afford to hire or the one you cannot afford to fire because you have no idea what you can actually afford. You are paying a penalty for what you do not know, and it's costing you freedom. As a CPA, I see this every day. The entrepreneurs who fail are not the ones who lack passion. They fail for 2 main reasons: lack of planning and lack of focus. Both of those are just symptoms of the real disease, a lack of systems. The problem is that we treat our finances like a report card. We are afraid to look at the numbers because we are afraid they will tell us we are failing. But your numbers are not a report card. They're a dashboard. And you cannot build a machine if you cannot read the dashboard. You're flying an airplane in a storm and you are refusing to look. That's the instrument panel. You're just hoping you're just high enough to clear the mountains. The moment you move from an emotional drama to data-driven strategy, you take back control. Financial literacy is not about being an accountant. It's not about complex spreadsheets. It is about knowing a few key numbers that tell you the truth. So let's build your dashboard, and I call this the financial fortress. Okay, it has 3 parts: the mindset, the dashboard, and the cadence. So step 1 is the mindset. Okay, most entrepreneurs use a classic formula: sales minus expenses equal profits, and that's a recipe for leftovers. You know what? It guarantees you get paid less. And let's flip the script. Your new formula is sales minus profit equal expenses. You must build your desired profit into your pricing from day one. When you set your price, you're already including a non-negotiable percentage that is yours to keep. The day revenue comes in, before you pay a single bill, you move that percentage into a separate profit bank account. You do it first. So step number 2 is the dashboard. Okay, you don't need like 20 KPIs. You only need 3. The first one is gross margins. Okay, this is your engine's power. For every $100 you sell, how many dollars do you keep after paying for the direct cost of delivering those services? If this number is broken, there's no amount of hustle that can save you. Okay, second is the operating overhead. This is your engine's drag. Okay, how much does it cost you to keep the lights on, even if you made $0 in sales? This is your fixed cost of the machine. And third is your cash runway. This is your fuel tank. If all your clients disappear tomorrow, how many months could your business survive? This is an antidote to fear. Okay, and the final step 3 is cadence. A dashboard is useless if you never look at it. You need a non-negotiable 90 minutes meeting once a month. 90. The agenda is simple. You do not look at the 100 reports. You look at the 3 key numbers and you ask a few questions. What is the story behind these numbers? What is working? What is broken? And what is the one decision we can make this month to improve one of those numbers? Financial clarity is freedom. It is the freedom to say no to the high maintenance, low profit client because you don't need their money. It is the freedom to hire that A player who can help you scale. And it's the freedom to go on vacation and truly unplug because you know the dashboard is green and the machine is working. So here's your challenge for this week. Remember, action over theory. I do not want you to build the whole fortress yet. I want you to find one number. It might take 15 minutes on it. It's this financial audit. Okay, tonight, I want you to open your business bank account, get a real hard number for your total monthly operating overhead. Then look at your bank balance. Divide your cash on hand, from your bank balance by your monthly overhead. The number you get is your cash runway in months. That's it. I just want you to know that one number. You might not like it. It might scare you, but it will be real. And you have to replace that vague 3 a.m. fog with a single actionable data point. And that is that first step you take of taking control. Stop paying that clarity penalty. Start building the fortress. Grit get you started, but systems get you free. I'm Johnny Terra. Let's get to work. Now that you control your money, you need to grow it. But I don't want you to cold calling. In the next video, I'm going to teach you how to stop chasing clients and get them to chase you using the serve first method.